Beezy had always harbored a deep envy toward the Agelo family, though she did well to conceal it behind a mask of dutiful servitude. Employed as their maid, she spent each day meticulously observing the life they lived, every moment a reminder of what she believed she deserved. The Agelo home was nothing short of grand, a sprawling mansion with high ceilings and gleaming marble floors that echoed the sounds of luxury. Every room was furnished with the finest pieces, each adorned with artwork that whispered of wealth and sophistication. And then there was Mrs. Mogisla Agelo. She wasn't just beautiful, she was ethereal. She moved through her home with the grace of a queen, her long, flowing dresses fluttering around her like a gentle breeze. Her smile, ever radiant, seemed to light up the entire room. Her laughter, always warm and contagious, could melt even the hardest hearts. Mr. Agelo, equally as captivating, carried an air of quiet strength. A man of immense success in business, yet humble in demeanor, he treated everyone with kindness, his employees, neighbors, and even strangers. It was no surprise that the Agelos were revered and loved by all who knew them. To Beezy, they had everything: a perfect marriage, an overflowing bank account, respect from their peers, and children who adored them. These were all the things Beezy had once dreamed of for herself, but could never seem to attain. And though the Agelos were kind and generous, extending their warmth even to her, Beezy's heart, twisted with jealousy, refused to soften. Their kindness was like a mirror held up to her own failures, reflecting the bitter truth that no matter how hard she worked, she would never rise to their level. Instead of admiration, a storm of resentment brewed within her. She resented their happiness, their love, their easygoing life. And worst of all, she resented Mrs. Mogisla, who always seemed to glow with an effortless charm that made everyone, including Beezy, feel small in her presence. At night, after the day's tasks were complete and the house had quieted down, Beezy would retire to her small, cramped quarters tucked away in a far corner of the mansion. The room was barely big enough to fit her modest bed, a thin mattress that offered little comfort after long hours of work. As she lay there, staring up at the cracked ceiling, her mind would wander back to the Agelos. How could life be so unfair? She would ask herself over and over again, how could one woman be so fortunate? Mrs. Mogisla had everything: a loving husband, beautiful children, and a life of luxury, while Beezy toiled away, barely acknowledged for her efforts. With every passing day, the jealousy in Beezy's heart grew, turning darker and more poisonous. She began to whisper curses under her breath as she lay in bed at night, her mind consumed with fantasies of the Agelo family's downfall. It wasn't just that she wanted what they had. She wanted to see them suffer, to lose everything they held dear, just as she had lost her own dreams. Mrs. Mogisla's radiant smile, once merely an irritant, now felt like a slap to Beezy's face every time she saw it. How could someone so perfect be so oblivious to the suffering of others? And what infuriated Beezy the most was how, despite her growing bitterness, Mrs. Mogisla remained gracious and kind. Even on the days when Beezy deliberately left the dishes dirty or failed to sweep the corners of the room, Mrs. Agelo would thank her, her voice soft and filled with gratitude. But that kindness, instead of warming Beezy's heart, only made her hate Mrs. Agelo more. Each thank you felt like a reminder of her own insignificance, a patronizing gesture from a woman who had everything, speaking to someone who had nothing. To Beezy, those words weren't kindness, they were condescension veiled in politeness. How dare she be so perfect? How dare she live in such bliss while Beezy suffered in silence? And so, as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Beezy's envy festered into something more sinister. What had once been idle resentment began to transform into a dangerous obsession. No longer content to simply curse the Agelos in the privacy of her thoughts, Beezy began to plot. One hot afternoon, as Beezy carefully poured a glass of cool water and served it to Mrs. Agelo, her eyes lingered on the woman's serene face a little longer than usual. The familiar wave of jealousy swept over her. But this time, something else stirred in the recesses of her mind. An idea, dark and thrilling, took shape. Beezy had long harbored fantasies of stepping into Mrs. Agelo's life, of basking in the adoration of her family, and enjoying the respect and admiration of the community. She was tired of being an onlooker, watching a life that she could never attain, trapped on the fringes of the luxury she craved. For too long, she had been content with her fantasies, wishing for a different life, but now, the fantasies no longer satisfied her. The longing had grown unbearable, like a fire consuming her from within. Beezy wanted more. She wanted it all. She didn't just want to be close to the Agelos. She wanted to become Mrs. Agelo herself, to take her place at the head of the family, to be the woman of the house. It was a thought that both excited and terrified her, but it refused to leave her mind. And soon the idea of simply wishing for a better life no longer sufficed. The more she thought about it, the clearer the path forward became. If she were ever to step into Mogisela's shoes, she would have to get rid of the woman standing in her way. Mogisela Agelo was the one obstacle preventing Beezy from claiming the life she felt she deserved. And while Mrs. Agelo's kindness might have softened another's heart, it only stoked the flames of Beezy's resentment. How could a woman so perfect, so gracious, be real? It disgusted her to the core. Beezy had no doubt that she could do a better job of being Mrs. Agelo, given the chance. She could manage the house, win over Mr. Agelo's heart, and care for the children. But first, Mogisela had to be removed. Beezy began to weave a plan, a sinister plot that would allow her to take everything she desired. The Agelo family trusted her implicitly. Mrs. Agelo never questioned her loyalty, Mr. Agelo barely acknowledged her presence, and the children simply accepted her as part of the household. Beezy knew she could exploit that trust, bend it to her will, and use it to her advantage. She just needed to be smart, to wait for the perfect opportunity.
I hope you are enjoying the story. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload new video. Now let's continue the story.
Her thoughts often wandered to the market, where she overheard the older women gossiping about remedies and secrets they had learned over the years. One piece of information stood out above the rest, a certain herb, rare and dangerous, capable of killing a person slowly, subtly. According to the whispers, the poison would cause a slow decline in health, making the victim's death appear natural, as though their body had simply given in to sickness or exhaustion. Beezy's pulse quickened as the plan solidified in her mind. She would not resort to something as obvious as violence. No, she would use the poison. Mrs. Agelo's demise would be gradual, her radiant beauty and strength slowly eroding over time, until she was nothing but a shadow of the woman she once was. It was perfect. No one would ever suspect her. Beezy spent the next few weeks gathering the necessary ingredients, all while continuing her duties in the Agelo household as though nothing had changed. She visited the market, careful not to draw too much attention to herself, asking subtle questions, blending into the daily bustle of market life. She would buy fruits, vegetables, and spices for the family, slipping in her inquiries about certain plants and herbs in between casual conversations. It wasn't difficult to get the information she needed. The market women, always eager to share their knowledge, spoke freely, unaware of the dark intentions behind Beezy's innocent questions. Slowly but surely, Beezy collected the ingredients for the poison. She kept them hidden in her small quarters, wrapped carefully in a cloth and tucked away where no one would find them. Each time she added a new ingredient to her collection, a sense of triumph surged within her. The power she felt was intoxicating. The plan was coming together, and soon, Mrs. Agelo's perfect life would begin to unravel. Beezy would watch with satisfaction as Mogisela's health deteriorated, and when the time came, she would be there to comfort Mr. Agelo in his grief, to step into the role of the loving, supportive wife he would need. As the weeks passed, Beezy honed her patience, waiting for the right moment to strike. It wouldn't be to act too soon or to rush the process. Timing was everything. Mrs. Agelo had to gradually fall ill so that no one would suspect foul play. And when the day finally came, Beezy would be ready, her deadly mixture prepared to set her plan into motion. One evening, as Mrs. Mogisela Agelo sat in her favorite armchair, sipping her usual evening cup of tea, the warm glow of the living room's soft lights bathed her in tranquility. Her day had been long but fulfilling, and this quiet moment of solitude was something she cherished. But tonight was different, though she couldn't possibly have known. Standing in the shadows, just beyond the reach of the gentle lamplight, Beezy watched her with a steady, calculating gaze. Her heart pounded, but not from fear. No, it was from anticipation, an exhilarating sense of power coursing through her veins. She had done it. The poison was in the tea, discreetly stirred into the fragrant liquid with a hand as steady as stone. As Mrs. Agelo brought the cup to her lips, Beezy's eyes never left her. Each slow sip seemed to echo in the silence, marking the start of the unraveling. Mogisela smiled gently, completely unaware of the danger she now sipped with every swallow. Beezy remained outwardly calm, feigning her usual role of obedient servitude, her hands busy with household chores, while inside, she felt nothing but cold detachment. Her plan had been set in motion, and now all she had to do was wait. Over the next few days, Beezy watched with morbid satisfaction as the poison began its work. Mrs. Agelo, once vibrant and full of life, began to wither before everyone's eyes. She grew weaker with each passing hour, her energy drained, her radiant complexion turning pale and sickly. At first, it was subtle, a slight fatigue here, a faint dizziness there. Mr. Agelo, ever the attentive husband, noticed immediately when his wife's usual sparkle dimmed. His brow furrowed with concern, and soon, the household was engulfed in a whirlwind of medical consultations and worried whispers. Doctors were called, their stern faces offering no comfort as they examined Mrs. Agelo, perplexed by her symptoms. No one could diagnose her mysterious illness. Test after test was performed, yet the results showed nothing out of the ordinary. They spoke of exhaustion, of stress, suggesting that perhaps her busy lifestyle was finally catching up to her. But Beezy knew the truth. The poison was doing exactly what it was meant to do, slowly, methodically dismantling Mogisela's health, while keeping suspicion at bay. Beezy played her role to perfection, going about her duties with an air of concern, offering to help more with the children and managing the household chores without complaint. She even brought tea and meals to Mrs. Agelo's bedside, all the while knowing that her efforts were futile. Each day, as Mrs. Agelo grew weaker, Beezy's resolve grew stronger. There was no turning back now. The once joyous home had become a place of anxiety and sorrow, and Beezy thrived in the shadows of that grief. It wasn't long before the inevitable happened. Mrs. Mogisela Agelo, unable to fight the mysterious illness that ravaged her body, slipped away quietly in the early hours of the morning. Her passing was sudden, though not unexpected, and it sent shockwaves through the Agelo family. Mr. Agelo, devastated, could barely comprehend the loss of his beloved wife. The children, Kalapo and Dara, were inconsolable, their young hearts unable to grasp the depth of their grief. The once vibrant household, filled with laughter and warmth, was now a hollow shell consumed by sadness. Amidst the chaos of mourning, Beezy remained steady. She wore the appropriate mask of grief, her expressions carefully crafted to mirror those of sorrow and sympathy, but inside, she felt none of it. Mrs. Agelo was gone, and with her death, Beezy saw the opening she had been waiting for. Now was the time to execute the next phase of her plan. She wasted no time in positioning herself as the comforting presence Mr. Agelo needed. In the days following his wife's death, Beezy was always close by, ready with a soft word or a reassuring touch. She had become his shoulder to cry on, the one person who seemed to understand his pain. Beezy would sit with him in the evenings, offering her quiet support as he spoke about his beloved wife, his voice heavy with sorrow. She listened intently, her face a mask of empathy, though her mind was already calculating her next move.
I hope you are enjoying the story. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload new video. Now let's continue the story.
Slowly, but surely, Beezy began to worm her way into Mr. Agelo's heart. She was patient, never pushing too hard, always offering just the right amount of comfort. She pretended to care for the children as if they were her own, showing them tenderness in their time of need. Kalapo and Dara, too young to see the truth behind her actions, began to rely on her in their mother's absence. Beezy was everywhere, caring, soothing, always present. Mr. Agelo, vulnerable and consumed by grief, was blind to her manipulation. He saw Beezy's actions as genuine, a loyal servant who had stepped up in a time of crisis. He didn't notice how seamlessly she had slipped into the role of caretaker, nor did he realize how she was slowly becoming more than just a maid in his household. Beezy knew exactly how to play her cards, how to manipulate Mr. Agelo's emotions until eventually he would see her not as a servant, but as something more. And when that moment came, she would be ready. Within a matter of weeks, Beezy's transformation from the humble, dutiful maid into something far more insidious was complete. No longer just a servant, she had become Mr. Agelo's confidant, his constant companion in his time of grief. It was a gradual process, one that required patience and calculation. She knew better than to push too hard at first. Instead, she worked subtly, always keeping herself near him, sitting a little closer each night, her hand gently stroking his arm or resting on his shoulder as if to console him. Her words, soft and whispered, dripped with false concern. "I'm here for you," she would say, her voice laced with sincerity that masked her true intentions. "You don't have to face this alone." At first, Mr. Agelo resisted. His heart still ached for Mogisela, the love of his life, and the thought of allowing someone else into that sacred space felt like a betrayal. His mind was clouded by the weight of his grief, and for a time he managed to keep Beezy at a distance. But grief has a way of weakening even the strongest of wills, and slowly, that resistance began to fade. He was vulnerable, overwhelmed by the loneliness that engulfed him now that Mogisela was gone. The nights were the worst, endless stretches of silence and sorrow that seemed to press down on him until he couldn't breathe. Beezy was there, always there, hovering just close enough to remind him that he wasn't entirely alone. She listened as he poured out his heart, speaking of his beloved wife, his voice thick with emotion. Beezy never rushed him, never interrupted, only nodding sympathetically, her eyes full of feigned understanding. And then one night, when the pain became too much to bear, when the weight of his loss felt like it would crush him entirely, Mr. Agelo let Beezy in. That night marked the turning point, the moment when Beezy's grip on Mr. Agelo became unbreakable. She had been patient, knowing that grief would eventually cloud his judgment, and now her patience was rewarded. Mr. Angelo, broken by the unbearable loneliness of his sorrow, found solace in her arms. He no longer saw her as just a maid, but as a source of comfort, someone who could ease the pain, if only for a little while. What he didn't realize, however, was that he wasn't gaining comfort. He was losing control. From that night on, Beezy's presence in his life became more than a crutch. It became an unshakable force that ruled him completely. As Beezy grew bolder, her influence spread like a shadow across the household. Kalapo and Dara, still reeling from the death of their mother, began to notice the change in their father. He was no longer the same man who used to smile at them with warmth, no longer the playful father who would toss them in the air or sit on the floor to play with their toys. The man who had once been the center of their world had withdrawn into himself, distant and cold, his grief making him blind to everything around him. In his place stood Beezy, her presence now dominating every aspect of their lives. The children, still young and struggling to comprehend the loss of their mother, found themselves trapped in a nightmare. Beezy had taken over everything. She decided when they ate, what they wore, and even how they behaved. Gone were the days of laughter and joy in the Angelo household. Under Beezy's rule, the house was filled with tension, her strict and unforgiving nature stifling the once happy home. She was nothing like their mother. Mogisela had been kind and gentle, always patient with her children, encouraging them to express themselves and learn from their mistakes. But Beezy was cruel. Kalapo and Dara could do nothing right in her eyes. A toy left out of place, a shirt worn slightly wrinkled, or a plate not clean to her exacting standards. All of these became reasons for punishment. Her voice, once soft and unassuming, now dripped with venom as she scolded them for the slightest transgressions. Beezy's punishments were harsh, far too harsh for young children still mourning the loss of their mother. Kalapo, though older, felt a crushing sense of helplessness as he watched Beezy's grip tighten around his little sister. Dara, once a bubbly and carefree child, grew quiet, her laughter replaced by a constant fear of upsetting the woman who now ruled their home. What made it worse, what hurt more than anything, was the fact that their father, once their protector, their hero, did nothing. He was so wrapped up in his own grief and under Beezy's spell that he barely noticed the suffering of his children. When Kalapo tried to tell him how cruel Beezy was, Mr. Angelo would brush it off, too lost in his sorrow to truly hear the words. "She's just trying to help," he would say, his voice distant and hollow. "She's doing her best." But Kalapo knew better. He saw through Beezy's facade, knew that behind her mask of care lay nothing but malice. She wasn't trying to help. She was taking over, replacing their mother piece by piece, until there was nothing left of the life they once knew. And as the days stretched into weeks, Kalapo realized with a sinking heart that their father, once the strongest man he knew, was too far gone to save them. Beezy was in control now, and she wasn't about to let go. As time passed, Beezy's influence over Mr. Angelo deepened, her manipulation tightening like a vice around his once clear mind. It wasn't long before she planted the seed of marriage in his head. At first, the very idea seemed ludicrous. How could he possibly marry so soon after Mogisela's death? How could he replace the woman who had been his partner, his love, the mother of his children? But Beezy was cunning. She never suggested it outright. Instead, she let the notion linger in his thoughts, dropping subtle hints in quiet moments.
I hope you are enjoying the story. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload new video. Now let's continue the story.
"The children need stability," she would murmur softly as they sat together after a long day. "You need someone by your side, someone who understands." And over time, those whispered words took root. The once unthinkable idea began to seem reasonable, even necessary. Mr. Angelo, still reeling from the loss of his beloved wife, had come to rely on Beezy's presence in his life. He couldn't see how carefully she had orchestrated everything. How her soothing words were nothing but a facade, a means to tighten her grip on his heart. By the time she suggested marriage outright, he barely hesitated. His grief had clouded his judgment so completely that he no longer saw Beezy for what she truly was. He saw her only as a savior, someone who had been there for him in his darkest hours. When news of the impending wedding spread through the community, it sent shockwaves through the once quiet streets. Whispers filled the marketplace, the church, and the homes of friends who had once admired the Angelo family. How could Mr. Angelo marry the maid, so soon after Mogisola's death? It was a scandal, a betrayal of the memory of the woman who had been beloved not just by her family, but by everyone who knew her. Some tried to reason with him, pulling him aside to ask if he had lost his mind. But Mr. Angelo, now completely under Beezy's spell, waved away their concerns. Their opinions no longer mattered. His once keen mind, which had been so astute in business and so compassionate in family matters, was now dulled by grief and manipulation. All he cared about was Beezy, the woman who had filled the void left by his wife's death. The wedding itself was a quiet, subdued affair, held not in a grand church, but within the walls of the home where Mogisola had once reigned as queen. The atmosphere was suffocatingly strange. The rooms that had once echoed with Mogisola's laughter now seemed hollow and cold. There were no grand celebrations, no joy in the air, only a small gathering of people. Many of them unsure, disapproving, and shocked by the spectacle before them. Kalapo and Dara stood to the side, their small faces somber and pale. They hadn't fully grasped what was happening, but they knew it was wrong. How could their father marry the woman who treated them with such cruelty? How could he replace their mother so easily? But their protests, their confusion, were swallowed by the ceremony. When Beezy slipped the wedding band onto Mr. Angelo's trembling finger, a new chapter began, one of darkness and fear. It didn't take long for Beezy's true nature to fully reveal itself. No longer needing to maintain her facade of kindness, she dropped all pretense the moment the ink dried on their marriage certificate. She was no longer just the maid, no longer just the woman by Mr. Angelo's side. She was now the mistress of the house, and she made sure everyone knew it. The disdain she had always harbored for Kalapo and Dara, which she had once hidden behind forced smiles and calculated gestures, was now on full display. The children, still mourning the loss of their mother and confused by the changes in their once loving father, became the primary targets of Beezy's cruelty. Any semblance of tenderness she had shown them vanished, replaced by harshness and malice. If Kalapo or Dara so much as raised their voices above a whisper, they were met with a slap across the face. The slightest mistake, a forgotten chore, a misplaced toy, would send Beezy into a fury. She would lock them in their rooms for hours, sometimes for an entire day with no food or water, punishing them for offenses as minor as leaving their shoes untidy. The once lively children who had run freely through the house with joy and laughter were now shadows of their former selves, living in constant fear of their new stepmother. Kalapo, though older and more aware of the situation, felt powerless to protect his younger sister. He would stand silently by, his fists clenched, as Beezy berated Dara for some insignificant mistake. When Dara cried, her sobs echoed through the halls, but Beezy's heart remained unmoved. "Stop your crying," she would hiss, her voice sharp and unforgiving. "Your mother isn't here to baby you anymore." The children's only hope was their father. They tried again and again to reach him, Kalapo with all the courage he could muster, approached Mr. Angelo one evening after a particularly harsh punishment from Beezy. He told him everything, how Beezy slapped them, how she locked them in their rooms without food, how she treated them with cruelty at every turn. His voice trembled as he spoke, pleading for his father to see the truth, to protect them from the woman who was destroying their lives. But Mr. Angelo was no longer the man he once was, the strong, protective father who had once held his children so dear was now a hollow shell, completely under Beezy's control. He barely listened, his eyes glazed over, nodding absently as Kalapo poured out his heart. "Beezy is just trying to help," he muttered, his voice distant. "She's under a lot of stress. You need to behave." Kalapo's heart sank. His father, the one person who could have saved them, was gone. He had become a shadow of himself, completely bewitched by Beezy. And in that moment, Kalapo realized that they were truly alone, trapped in a home that had once been filled with love, but was now ruled by fear. The once vibrant Angelo mansion, which had once been filled with laughter, warmth, and the lively presence of family, now felt like a cold, suffocating prison. Kalapo and Dara, who had once run freely through its hallways, now treaded carefully, fearful of drawing Beezy's ire. The air itself seemed heavier, weighed down by an unspoken tension that permeated every corner of the house. Beezy, now fully in control, ruled over the home with an iron fist, treating it not as a sanctuary but as her kingdom, a place where her word was law and her whims reigned supreme. The children, who once had been the pride of the house, now lived in the shadows, their once bright eyes dimmed by fear and sorrow. Beezy wasted no time in asserting her dominance, claiming everything that had once belonged to Mogisela as her own. She wore Mogisela's clothes, fine silks, and elegant dresses that had once accentuated the gentle beauty of the woman who had been loved by all. Now on Beezy, they looked grotesque, as if the fabric itself resisted being worn by someone so full of malice. She would sit in Mogisela's favorite chair, the plush armchair by the window where Mogisela had often sat, watching her children play in the garden. Beezy would drape herself there, her legs crossed, a smug smile on her lips, as if daring anyone to challenge her right to sit in the place of the woman she had destroyed.
Thanks for watching today's story. I believe you enjoyed every bit of it all. Now I want you to do me one favor, subscribe to this channel, like and turn on the notification bell if you have not done so that whenever I release my next video, you will be notified immediately. See you soon.